We're gonna see how much we can get done in 10 minutes because that's all I've got before I leave for work. And I don't know if I can actually do, I don't know how much I can do. We're just gonna see. We're gonna block off this part, and the little, excuse me, the little paper clips are because I don't tear this paper out of the book. I just, it's just one of my little sketchbooks. And so I don't tape it down to like a surface where it would not warp. And so it will warp. And I'm hoping that I don't have to just toss this video, but we'll see. So I'm gonna start because I want that kind of sunrise glow. So I've got a little of that weird yellow that I don't know what you call it. Excuse me, and it's almost like fluorescent. And I would show you on my paint palette, except that it's almost gone. And I'm gonna have to figure out what color it is to reorder it. Okay, that was a lot pinker than I wanted it to be, but because there's water already on the page, shoot, I don't have an apron on. We can kind of just make it go light. I know I move my pad around a lot. And so I'm just gonna put our horizon line, which is gonna blur because again, there's water on the page. So I'll just keep kind of going over it a little bit because it's from this ink, or not ink, this paint that I will draw my, I'll get my trees coming. So I could kind of be really adventurous and go like this. Well, there's not too much cooperating with me there. So I'm gonna take a smaller brush. Is there any numbers on this? No, so this is probably real generic. So I'm just gonna kind of draw some trees up, but I'm also gonna hit the green a little bit because, not that they're green on the trunks, but I just want to get some green in there. And that noise that you hear is my dog. She's very excited because we were both having scrambled eggs today. Okay, so I've got my basic tree, and it's just going to continue to keep blending on the paper because there's water on there already. So when I drove, well, I didn't drive, my friend drove, and we went to a wedding in Nevada, and so we went through Tahoe Basin, I think that's what you call it. Oh my gosh, and then you just see all the devastation from the fires. So a lot of them are stunted or burned away. So because this paper is wet, I'm just gonna get a little bit of green in here, and it just doesn't have to be, oh my God, it does not have to be perfect, because if it was perfect, I don't know about you, but I'd probably go crazy because I just don't do perfect. So you can see where, you know, this green, and I don't know what color green it is because I think my paint box is Chinese and I don't, when I have to order a tube so I can squirt it in those little pockets, it's a guess. But because trees, the way they are, they're little, you don't see like specific, I mean, you might see the occasional specific branch, but really you're just looking at a whole big mess of a bunch of different color. A bunch of different colors of green. Sorry, I drifted off in my thoughts. Okay, now this side obviously is drier. And so I'm going to put a little bit of dark in there too, but don't wig out because we'll come back with green. And you know, I always want to make the tree fronds go down, but if you're looking at like pine trees, or I don't know what all the names are, they're actually kind of pointing up. I think that's pretty cool because God made them so they'll point up and reach up to Him. But then the weight of the snow will kind of balance it out. Okay, so we're gonna kind of leave that right now because, like I said, I've only got 10 minutes and I've used 7 of them. And I would like to brush my hair before I leave the house because sometimes I forget, which sounds kind of crazy. But then okay, we're gonna leave that alone because I can come back and do the details in that later. Okay, I say that I'm gonna do that and then I don't do that because I still want to mess around with the green. But I kind of like that right there. So I just want to leave these guys alone because we need some rocks because Tahoe has got a ton of rocks. So I'm going to go in with some tan, but I'm going to load up with some brown and maybe a little tiny bit of close to black. And so the rocks, I'm never sure where to put them. So I'm going to try down here. This is when I really wished I had my apron on because this is also when I start adding a lot of color. I'm never exact, but I like to add blue in there because it just, you know, there's so many colors going on in nature that you don't actually know. I mean, your brain kind of judges it, but There's so many things that it's just your subconscious. No, so you don't actually, unless you take a minute to actually ponder it, you don't actually notice it. So this is just going to be a little bit of the lake. So for the most part, Jet, don't bark. Let's see. This is just a little chunk of water somewhere around that area. Whoops. That's not the paintbrush I wanted. And then we're going to get, hey baby, we're going to get some brushes. Not brushes, I don't know what you, marshes? Maybe marshes. I don't know if that's exactly what you call, but I think that's what you call stuff that grows around the lake. Any lake. All the green stuff. It's not grass. Well, I guess it is grasses. So right here, this is my 30 minutes with Jesus. All the things that he has blessed my eyes to see. And then one last thing. And all this is gonna, because there's so much water, I'll have to wait until I get home to see how muddy it is. Because sometimes it just seeps in the paper and you just need to go back and add some like little more purposeful strokes. But I want the sun coming up in the morning. Because when the sun comes up in the morning, all the possibilities are new. Let's see. And that is how I start my day. I know, I hope that wasn't too much for you. That's it. Me and my coffee did this.